Hello. Have you ever felt really faint when you finished running? Maybe you're giving it your all in a race, you cross the finish line, then all of a sudden, whoa, you're feeling lightheaded, dizzy, maybe staggery, and as if you're about to pass out. It's actually fairly common in runners to experience this. So I think it's important to explore what's happening in the body, why it happens in the first place, what to do if it happens to you, and importantly, how you can prevent it. Now, our bodies are really amazing. You know, they have so much capacity for exercise. When we're running and speeding along, our muscles have an increased amount of blood flowing to them. They're screaming out for oxygen. They need it to be able to perform. They also have lots of waste products that need to be taken away. So our heart beats faster and more forcefully to send extra blood to the muscles. It diverts blood from unnecessary things towards the muscles during exercise. Also, the blood vessels in the muscles expand or dilate up a little bit to allow more blood in. And even more clever than that, as you get fitter and fitter, when you increase your muscle bulk, the body grows new tiny little blood vessels called capillaries to actually bring blood to that new muscle. So when we're exercising, there is a whole lot of blood in our muscles. Now, you can imagine if that's all going on and then suddenly you stop running, the blood can actually pool in our legs. We've stopped using our calf muscles, which act as a pump to take blood back up to the heart, and gravity is also having a part to play as well. So the blood pools in our legs, our blood pressure drops, and that can make us then feel faint and lightheaded. It could also be worse if you're a little bit dehydrated or if you're having a little bit of a drop in blood sugar as well. So that's what's actually happening in the body. So if it's happening to you, what do you do about it? First of all, realise that you're not feeling quite so good. You need to lie down. You need to lie on the floor and you need to lift your legs above the level of your heart. Good idea to tell somebody, maybe somebody next to you or a friend you're with, that you're not feeling too good and you're going to lie down. Obviously, make sure it's safe to do so. Lift your legs up. You could stick them against a wall or a railing, or your friend could actually hold your legs up a little bit for you. That will increase the blood flow up to your head and should immediately start to make you feel a little bit better. An alternative to that, particularly if it's not safe to lie down or you really don't want to, you can crouch and then you can put your head down between your legs. Stay there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Just let everything sort of readjust. If you can during that time, good idea to have a drink. As I mentioned, dehydration and low blood sugar can make things worse. So something maybe with some electrolytes and some carbohydrate in just to make you feel a little bit better. As you're coming round and you start to feel more sure of yourself, I would move to a sitting position. Really tempting to just try and get up, but if you do that, your blood pressure will probably fall and you'll end up back down again. So move to a sitting position. Make sure you feel comfortable and confident in a sitting position before you then stand up. Take things slowly, keep drinking some water, and keep an eye and see how you feel. And that should hopefully be the end of it. But how can you stop it happening in the first place? Well, really, there is one simple rule, and you've probably figured out by now what I'm going to say, and that is don't stop running abruptly. If you suddenly stop running, then that's when you can get this really big pooling of blood in your legs. So even though you're really tired and exhausted when you cross the finish line, keep moving. Ideally, a slow jog, so you're kind of tapering down your speed. Even just a brisk walk for 5-10 minutes or so. Whatever you do, don't just stand still. This has happened to me personally, and I knew what was happening and I could see what was happening, and I just knew that I should have just kept moving. So that is my main take home. Obviously, you can get yourself to the finish line in slightly better condition if you have fueled well, so your blood sugar's good, if you have hydrated properly, so you're not dehydrated, and if you have trained properly for your race distance, so your body is used to it. But when you stop, you want your body to kind of slowly get used to the increased demand that's now on it. So keep moving, keep walking around, as I say, have a little slow jog if you can, and you should find that that stops that post-run faintness. Just a little word of warning even. Just remember that this information is purely about that faint feeling when you cross the finish line. If you're feeling dizzy or faint when you're running, or if those symptoms are associated with other things, such as having chest pain, feeling short of breath, feeling confused, etc., then really, you know, those things need medical attention, urgent medical attention, and this little post isn't really appropriate for you. This is purely for that dizzy, odd feeling you sometimes get when you just cross the finish line and stop running. So I hope that's helpful. There is more information about this, more information about dizziness when you're running and those other things that I mentioned that could contribute to it or be a sign of something more sinister in my new book, which is a bestseller, I'm pleased to say, and it's called Run Well: Essential Health Questions and Answers. You can find out all about my book on my blog, so please skip to drjulietmcgrattan.com and get all the information there. Keep running and run well.